Thanks for Shelf Life for being our co-host for this uh, online reading. I'm not going to say too much, but I just wanted to thank everyone for coming this evening to Single Onion number 181. I'm just going to do a couple of thank yous before we get started. I want to thank the Canada Council for the Arts, the League of Canadian Poets, the Calgary Arts Development, especially for supporting this event, the Writers Guild of Alberta, and Shelf Life Books for being our sponsors at the Single Onion here. We really appreciate the support that they give us. And our next event will be March 17th. It'll most likely be another online event like this one. If you want to find out more about the Single Onion, you can go to singleonion.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we've got an email list, and you can follow us there. And I want to give a big thanks and shout out to the Single Onion board members, Kirk Miles and Lori Roadhouse, for all the hard work that they do and behind the scenes. And I think that's it for me. So I'm going to turn it over to MelVee X, and I want to thank her for being our guest curator for this event this evening. And take it away, MelVee.
Thank you so much, David. Oki Natanaku MelVee X Ginututu Moginstis, in the language of the Nitstapi or the people of the Blackfoot Confederacy. I said, hello, my name is MelVee X, and I am from Moginstis, aka Calgary, Alberta, Canada. For those who don't know me, I am a spoken word artist, poet. I am a burlesque performer and a visual artist as well. My pronouns are she, they. I need to learn how to say that in Blackfoot. I keep on making a little mental note to myself. I need to get on that. And I want to welcome everybody here this evening in the virtual realm. I'm so glad that you all could tune in with us tonight. This is going to be an incredible evening of amazingly talented Black artists, and I can't wait to get into it. But I thought it would be a good idea to give a little sense of what we have coming at us tonight, and also to set some ground rules because I think that is the job of any good host. So I encourage you all to listen this evening with an open heart and mind. If you hear something that is difficult for you, check in with that and take care of yourself as you are able to, as you are likely in your own space. That gives you even more freedom to take care of your needs in a good way. So please do that. I'm so excited for our evening tonight. If you have anything that you want to comment or share in the chat, please do that, as we're not all sharing the same space. We can't actually know how you're feeling or what the vibe is. So use the emoji reacts. They are fantastic. I use them all the time, sometimes shamelessly, but it's fine. So on the bottom bar, there is the reactions, and you can give a little heart or a little, celebration thingy. You can do the clapping emoji, whatever you feel. That's how you can show your love and support for our artists this evening. So why homecoming? Why coming home? Homecoming. It's interesting, and it's just one of those strange ways that life works. So when Kirk first asked me to curate this show tonight, I wasn't planning any kind of significant life changes, but of course life does its own thing. And earlier on this month, my husband and we are making the leap. We've decided we are moving, and we are going to be leaving home, and that is really significant for me. I know I don't seem like it, but I was conceived, born, and raised here in Moginstis in Calgary. So literally, okay, this is it, friends. This is the only home I have ever known. And for probably most of my life, I never really thought I was going to leave it. There's a lot to love about Moginstis, and there has been for a long time. But I would say within the last 2 to 3 years, my heart has really changed on that matter, and I see Calgary or Moginstis not changing in some really vital ways that I need it to change. And so my husband and I we're making the plunge, taking the plunge, and we're heading out west where the Dharma bums of generations have gone. We're not going too far west. We will be in BC somewhere in the mountains. So we're still going to be on Turtle Island here, but Calgary will no longer be my home. And so this is actually the last event that I will be curating as a Calgarian, as an Albertan woman. So this is the last one, and so it's a really significant one for me in that way. And on that note, I'll do a little shameless plug. So if you have not seen me perform burlesque live in Calgary, you need to get on it. This month is your last chance. So this February, the 25th, please brain work for me. Yes. So February the 25th. I don't want to like announce it, but I just wanted to throw it out there to this crowd, because some of y'all I've known for a really long time, or you've said, I want to see your burlesque someday. And so this is your chance, honey. This is it for you to catch me here. So February the 25th at Twisted Element, I'll be doing burlesque improv. It's amazing. And you can find more information about that on my Instagram. But yeah, it's really strange now to be kind of looking at the world with the lens of leaving and thinking of those lasts in a particular place. I mean, obviously, I will see my loved ones and friends, again, and I'll be visiting, but it's different to leave home. In the Zen tradition, we have it's kind of this it's a long history of Zen monks and nuns really being encouraged to leave home as a spiritual practice and as a physical practice, because sometimes we can only really appreciate home when we leave it. And so this whole evening has a different meaning for me now, because I will be leaving home finally. The artists that I selected tonight, they've all been with me on my journey in some way or another, and in really significant ways. So one of the first shows that I curated by myself, oh my gosh, was Radiant and Radical, the Soul of Black Art in Moginstis. And both KTheChosen and aloT Poetry were two of the featured artists. And so that was, the first time I had kind of taken up that kind of role by myself. And it was really the first time that like a show that labeled itself a Black art show had been attempted here in this city. And I think we really rocked it. And then there are, other artists that I, on the show tonight, that they're either at the beginning of their journey, and I feel like I've been a little part of that in some way. And I really hope, as kind of my artistic practice, that I have planted enough seeds here in Moginstis and in the province to really sprout some beautiful work and continue. And I want that work to be continued in so many ways. So this is not a not a sad night, and it's not a monologue MelVee night. So I have one piece, and I'm going to save it for the end, because anytime I curate or host a show, it's not about me. And so if I don't get to read a piece, I'm not heartbroken about that. So I'm going to leave this piece until the end, because there is some incredible talent that I want to make sure none of you miss. So we will get right into it. I should have checked to see if she's on the call first. Rookie mistake. aloT Poetry, are you on the call, girl? Okay, that was not subtle. Okay, then I will read her bio out. Adetola Adedipe, I hope I said it correctly, aka aloT Poetry, is a Nigerian poet who was born in Nigeria and raised in South Africa. Her recent immigration to Canada motivated her to use poetry to speak her truth about the world around her. She is a Black youth artist mentor, performer, Black feminist, mental health advocate, event curator, and brand designer. She is currently an artist learning experience facilitator for the Workland School of Education Decolonizing Literacy Workshop. She is a spoken word featured artist and performer at the Arts Commons Cabaret's We Gonna Be All Right. She was in it, I think I want to say both times, and many of the Arts Commons cabarets. And she was the November 2019 Calgary Slam champion. As a believer of self-truth, she aims to build a community that encourages loving yourself and being unapologetic about it. So however you are in your space, please give like the warmest welcome you can to aloT Poetry, and get your little emojis and your comments ready. We'll turn it over to you, aloT Poetry.
Thanks, MelVee. As MelVee said, like I'm literally like my first encounter with just like a Black performance. It was like MelVee's Radical and Radiant, and I was like, oh my god, someone wants me to do something. It's like, yeah. So thank you so much. You will definitely be missed. I personally will never stop plugging you to everyone that I meet everywhere that I go. Yes, like you're amazing friend, mentor, just all around person, and I wish you happiness in your venture out to the west, like BC, like that's it. So I just have 3 poems for everyone tonight. I'm going to stick within the time limit. And yeah. Yeah, so basically these are all, like MelVee said, like I immigrated to Canada, and being a Nigerian and then born and raised in South Africa, even though I was raised in South Africa, I am very aware that just like Canada, South Africa is not, South Africa is land that was ultimately, taken from people whose home that actually is. So even though I call it home, like in, sorry, in my heart, it's like, I know that it has more of a connection to other people versus myself. So this is just like that whole identity thing going on in poetry. Okay, so the first one is called African Flower. It's very short and sweet. Can everyone hear me okay? Firstly, like, so good, thumbs. Okay, amazing. Hey there, Black child. Don't hide who you are. Raise your petals to the wild. Bloom, African flower. And that's it. Nice and short and sweet. Yeah. All Black children are beautiful children. I love it. So yeah, so that's for all the beautiful Black kids out there. This next poem is called Identity Awareness, brought upon by my own kind of identity crisis, which is fine. We have a little issues with identity sometimes. So yeah, there we go. Who, what, where is home? A word that can either fill someone with warmth or confusion, elation or loss. Home is where the heart is. A beautiful phrase, no doubt. You can lay your heart wherever you want, and that is where it is found. Some feel their hearts are lost. I grew up moving from house to house, jealous of the kids with family history in theirs, being able to draw a string to different areas where their great-great-grandparents built theirs. My parents had a home in Nigeria, but had to leave due to their fears. We have to leave our home so our children can find a new one and have a better chance out there. Forced to leave the place of comfort due to colonial collateral damage. Sometimes leaving the place you love is the only solution you can manage. I feel that I do have a piece of their home with me, Nigerian music, food, and clothing, that whenever I wear, I feel like I was born in. Recipes passed down from my grandmother who I've gotten little chance to know. I know that I am their heart, my brother, my sister, and I, but I can see how much they want to go back, even just for a little while. Their eyes light up talking about stories of the past, playgrounds they visited, paths they walked with their friends, growing up thinking it would never end. Home can mean so many things. You place your life there, surrounded by things that bring memories long forgotten, memories of sadness or joy. Home can also be the place where your roots are grounded. Your family is synonymous with the earth, a place that you always connected to by birth. I barely speak my mother tongue, and I have only been there once, but there is something that is drawing me there, something I can't touch. No matter my nationality, no matter where I move, there is a home that I will never be able to deny, a home I can't choose. The roots I am connected to, the blood in my veins that create my eyes, my bones, my hair, my taste. This place that so many call home, a place that I should call home because of a passport, a privilege given to me by a piece of paper. This place will never really sit right with me as the home that was taken, a land that is watered by the tears of years stolen from children, the European Canadians who call this home. I hope that they're aware of where their identity is and who placed it here. Even though this is all you've ever known, I feel like sometimes I receive anger whenever I ask if you're interested in your ancestry because there might be a hole. So I say, acknowledge your roots. You cannot claim a place and ignore its history. Canada, I think it may also have a little bit of confused persona, an identity crisis. When the governor gave me my certificate and said, welcome home, I kind of cringed. Her words stung like ice entering my body with a syringe. I may have a similar identity crisis, but I'm not too confused because this is not my home. There are people here that I love, and that is where it ends. Because when I think of home, it is not this place, and I cannot pretend. I could have children here, I could die and be buried over on that hill. But if you ask me who I am, I won't say Canadian, and I never will. And that's the one poem. And yeah, thank you. Oh, thanks everyone. Oh, such cute comments. Let's see if we're seeing them pop up on the corner. Thanks everyone. This next one, actually, MelVee, how am I doing on time? Tell me how I'm doing on time. Am I okay? Okay, perfect.
So I didn't actually put on a timer, but
It's okay.
this should be the last
okay,
show.
Because I think it's been 5 minutes. Okay, so we got this. Okay, this next one I actually wrote after being, it's kind of like a prompt from like a book that was written about, just like, I guess, communication. And then one of the chapters had, I didn't read the book before I chose the chapter to report on, but it had to do with kind of like, the way like Nigerian cultures used to like dance and communicate like through dance. So I was like, oh my gosh, the universe, they did for me. So I wrote this poem. And it's called Connection. Please enjoy. I wish words didn't exist. I wish to look into another's eyes and have their feelings flood into me as I begin to cry their tears. as their joy escapes from my mouth. I want to experience the souls we say we see when we peer into the pupils of another. The tiny dark circle becomes a wormhole that we fling ourselves into with no fear as we dive into the world of others. I want to deconstruct empathy to its elements. I want to be taught the way the earth shifts when you walk. I want to know how the wind tingles against your skin, the fire in your heart when you love with your whole chest, and the water that washes your worries away. I want to hear the music of your life, feel the beats between my bones as we dance through this world together. I want to connect. I want to go to bed with you at night. I want to dream your dreams and achieve with you and celebrate as those dreams become real. I don't want you to explain how your emotions take hold of your actions. I want to take hold of your emotions and squeeze them in my fist and feel them ooze between my fingers, wrapping each thread that has been stitched together to make the perfect outfit that is you. I want to see what you wear out the door and wear it for a moment and know what it's like to be you. I don't want any more words. As I say this poem, as I project this web of intricate vocabulary and trap you with my wordplay, I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to feel me. We are creating our own red strings of fate as I stand here before you virtually. My emotions are on their knees and I am begging you to understand me because letters have their limits and syllables have an end. I want us to see each other as people. We don't even have to be friends. Just be beings, just coexist. So I wish words didn't exist. I wish body language was the template for understanding. Misunderstanding is too often the basis of communication as we talk and talk and talk down a road with no destination. Who will be the first to happiness? Whose happiness will be worth more? Can I be happy for you when I want what you have and more? When I haven't even begun to understand how much of yourself you have poured into this golden cup we all see as success, while we choke with each filling and we gag as we struggle to hold on to the breast of life that nourishes our desire to survive. I wish words didn't exist because even now I'm afraid that this poem that I wrote at home, that no one will ever really get me, even with these words. Even with these words, I'm afraid that the words that I needed to say, they don't actually exist. And that is that. Thank you. I'm done now.
Let's keep the comments coming in the chat, and you can
Cute.
also do this, and you can do this, you know, even with muted. Okay, if you do this in front of the screen, we'll be able to see it. Thank you so much. A lot of poetry, aka Tola. Thank you. So we'll move on to our next poet, who is Sue-Shane Tsomondo. Sue-Shane Tsomondo is a poet, educator, book curator, and the creator of Sue Stockville, a Calgary-based literary arts platform. Sue Stockville highlights the work of Black, Indigenous, and people of color writers or BIPOC writers. She has previously performed for Wolf's Voices and Single Onion. In 2020, Sue-Shane appeared on the cover of the Calgary Journal. I have several copies of it that I've been stockpiling. Sue-Shane has also been featured in Arts Commons, Avenue Magazine, the Calgarian Podcast, In Rehearsal Podcast, and the Artful Conversations Podcast. In 2020, Sue-Shane Sue Stockville partnered with Humanology to create, I should have got my pronunciation before I tried to read this, the Kumbul Ekaya project, plus workshop for Empathy Week. Sue-Shane is a Right On 2019 alum and a 2021 Esker Foundation writer in residence. She's also my neighbor, and we get to have some amazing chats with each other that we're gonna have to take up again, my dear, because I miss seeing your face and I want to just have even more experiences at home before I leave. So let's get our snaps in the chat and you know, whatever you're going to do to show Sue-Shane your love.
Thank you, MelVee. I'm very sad to hear, and I'm my neighbor. Yeah, you're the best thing about the neighborhood, and you know what I mean. And you are truly the best thing about this neighborhood, even if it was a different neighborhood, but especially in this neighborhood. Yeah, so I am really excited to be performing. I guess I'll just get started since MelVee already shared my bio. I'm going to read 2 poems, maybe 3, depending on the time. The first one is called Sundays Are for Sipho Gumede. Sipho Gumede is a South African jazz musician. He was a South African jazz musician, and I love playing his music in the early morning of the weekends. So, Sundays are for Sipho Gumede. Sundays are for pot roasts and the dreamy laughter of children not yet born. Sundays are for the low and deep conversations of lovers we are yet to meet. Our lovers will become fathers, our wounds mothers. Sundays are for drifting in and out of ecstasy. It is always the night after independence. For a while, I could dream of nothing but war and blood. I've stopped dreaming about revolutions. I only dream of Coke bottles on shaky side tables and open veranda doors, letting in a cool breeze over sweaty skin. I only dream of making plans without the worry of tomorrow. So we make more love tonight, so sure that quenching our thirst only replenishes our supply. I dream constantly of abundance, but I wake up to calloused hands, a parched throat, and a voice that still doesn't know how to say, "May I have some more, please?" That was the first one. The second one, there's actually a video that you can see where I dance. I'm not really a dancer or anything like that, but you can see me dancing. And there's a link on my social media at @SueStockville if you're interested in that. Actually, I will start with another poem. And this is a poem I wrote today. It's called Sokandibereke, which means can my feet carry me? I'm basically just asking my feet to, it's a saying that we say in Shona. When you say Sokandibereke, you're saying, oh, I'm about to run. I want my legs to actually, because when you're running, the soles of your feet will touch almost close to your back if you're running really fast. This is a poem I wrote today. Today was a trying day. The melting snow fell on my head in drops like a torrent of rain, while I listened to a song about how when it rains, it pours. It poured over and under, inside and out. It was an unending cleansing that almost washed me clean of myself. I wanted it to. I wanted to slide into the gutters, weave my way through the road closed signs, stick myself to the bottom of someone's shoe, a little play on the figure of speech, Sokandibereke. My feet, please carry me. It's a wandering spirit of not belonging, clinging to something that does. What is more Canadian than Australian Blundstones? Carry me to places of belonging, make every day feel like hearing the laughter of 2 friends in an abandoned mall. Didn't the world belong to us that day? Sokandibereke, my feet, please carry me, because I trust you to know the way home. Maybe I can pick up all the things I've lost on my way here. The friendships that were too heavy to carry all this way. The pain that was left tied up in newspapers and plastic, like the baby they found, Mubin, like the news bulletin said. Do you remember the potholes of that place? The way home is shaky and dizzy, like all things that make worthwhile melodies. These potholes are little burial grounds for our dreams, begging for the earth to swallow us whole. Grounded. Sokandibereke, my feet, please carry me. When the insides of my fake black leather sandals were tattered and peeling, my dignity came undone. I don't want anyone to walk a mile in my shoes. I have better shoes now. You walked in my tattered sandals, unaware of the sensation of deprivation that would tickle you once your toes reached all the way in to the depths of my mother's empty pockets. But the road hasn't been made easier. So kandi bereke, my feet, please carry me. Remember, they used to beat prisoners beneath their feet because bruising is unlikely to show. The long walk to freedom is a war waged at our feet. They hang shoes on power lines for feet that have made it all the way home. Because on the other side, I imagine that we have wings, not feet. Haven't you ever heard that the people could fly? Return them home and ask them why they didn't take their feet. So kandi bereke, until I can fly. That was poem. I had it open. I had my third poem open. Am I still good for time?
You have 4 minutes technically, so yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, now I found it. I don't know, when I'm nervous, like things just, I'm like, I could totally see it on my phone, but now it's so this last poem is the one that I performed, and there's a video that accompanies it, and the link is on my social media. It's called Ave Maria's Reprise. I tried to write, but the depth of my feelings evaded any words. I'm circling a pit in pursuit of this question: how can I be free? I feel someone watching me, making my rounds. I am tantalizing and mesmerizing in my dedication, in my discipline, but someone is watching me. Is the pursuit of freedom a performance to those with the keys? Do you know something I don't? When a prophet said, we've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. Did he mean this stage? Is this stage the mountaintop? There are more people watching me now. They are watching me gyrate and make art out of my agony. Am I elevated because I'm exalted? Or is this a modern day lynching when I can see a crowd of 1,000 people and hear them scream my name? Why is the sensation of freedom, the imminence of liberation, so vivid when I start to feel I can't breathe? Maybe it's the burning and the looting that happens in the aftermath of prolonged inhibited breathing that tastes so much like milk and honey. This little paradise is simply imagining the world anew for the brief moment that this world seems possible. But for now, I will take the illusion of freedom. I'm chained, but at least I keep a gold chain on my neck so I can say I'm blessed. I'm the circus's main attraction. They call me the star of the show. Never mind that I'm caged. I cosplay the freedom I cannot afford. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, let's keep bringing the, putting the comments in the chat, because I realize the poets / artists, they may not be able to see the emoji reacts as they're reading and performing. So, you know, get the comments in the chat as well. Thank you so much, Sue-Shane. It's like a joy and pleasure as always. I realized that I did not actually share a little bit about coming home and homecoming in the sense of contextualizing, and I want to do that before I forget. I really kind of like to put creative seeds everywhere I go now, and so these are the questions that the artists / poets, I feel like we're all kind of like this now. Like I feel like having one discipline is probably was never really a thing, but I don't think it's really a thing now. So these are the questions that the poets had, and I'd like to offer them to all of you as well right now, so that you don't have to answer in the chat or anything like that, but just for you to kind of keep close to your hearts. What does home mean to you? Where do you most feel at home? Can home be a feeling? Can you feel at home in your body? If not, why not? And if you've left home, what does it mean to come back? Can you ever really go back home? So I'll put those questions in the chat as well. I mean, it's not like a secret, like, oh, this is what the artists got. It was really just kind of to to just be that little bit of inspiration. But I thought, holy crow, everybody should be thinking about what home means to you, and especially as like a Black person from the diaspora like myself. We were taken from our homelands. I have a very different relationship to home and place, and I haven't really reflected on it as much as I would like to. And so I encourage all of you to keep these questions close, and to have them as a bit of artistic and creative inspiration as well. So I'll post those in the chat momentarily. And before I do that, I would like to introduce our next poet and performer, Autumn EagleSpeaker. Autumn EagleSpeaker is a Blackfoot / African-American Renaissance woman, mother of 7. Damn, I didn't, I didn't know that. That just like blows my mind even more, Autumn, and breast cancer survivor. Autumn is a proud member of the Gaina First Nation, of the All Short Peoples Clan, and the Running Antelope Band. As an activist, Autumn unites people for marches and vigils and movements, such as being one of the original founders of Idle No More Calgary and the Walking with Our Sisters commemorative art installation for murdered and missing Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirits. She is a speaker, passionate, a volunteer, and community connector and organizer, creating opportunities for others. Autumn coordinates the Authentically Indigenous Craft Market, a market and social enterprise that showcases Indigenous artists from Treaty 7 and area. Autumn also designs her own line of jewelry, Falling Leaves Designs. Autumn has been honored as a recipient of the Canada 150 Senate Medal for her work for outstanding volunteerism in 2017, the ESQO Award for Community Service in 2004, and the City of Calgary Youth Achievement Award in 2002. Autumn's greatest accomplishment in life is being the mother of 7 amazing children: Willow, Rain, Sky, Cloud, Thunder, Rosie, and stepdaughter, Rogue. So y'all know what to do. Put your welcomes and grace in the chat, and we're going to be taken away with Autumn's brilliance right now.
Thank you so much, MelVee. I am so honored and pleased to be here, and I am very sad to hear your departure as well, but wishing you so much beautiful luck on your travels, and I know it'll just be a beautiful adventure for you and just make you all the more wonderful that you already are. So I will say that normally when I speak about historical events and about what's going on in contemporary times in Indigenous community and Black community. And then I thought, when this came about, I thought, you know what, hey, maybe I could recycle that old Juneteenth dialogue I created last year. And then I looked at it and I was like, well, yeah. But I thought about the idea of home and what that means. And it took me a little bit to kind of think about that. And I thought, instead of speaking how I normally would, I would challenge myself and I would create some poetry. And so for me, reaching back, I reached way back to my roots. I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington. I was raised by a Black single father for 16 years of my life. I was my younger brother. And I grew up in the Black community in Seattle Central District, and faced all different kinds of racial segregation at a young age, and didn't feel my first hand of the racist touch until I was really inflicted at the age of 16 when I went to school in Lethbridge. So I'd like to say that I've kind of made it through life okay so far. So with further ado, I have 3 poems that I hope you'll enjoy. The first one is entitled North. From sea to shining sea, land of Lady Liberty, hopeful dreams of a promised future, freed from the shackles and chains of the fields of the Georgian South, new promise for new life. Uncle Sam, Jim Crow, reminds Blacks everywhere where they are still on the white man's ladder. Not in the fields no more, working for free, but still under the white man's thumb, under the white law. Under this law, if your hair was too nappy to go through your comb, you couldn't get married. You couldn't jump the broom. My great-great-grandma had nappy hair. With bags packed and love in their eyes, my great-great-grandparents left the South for the northern skies. With God in their pocket and a Bible on the belt, they shared the word of God and created church and home and community in Illinois. And family, they built a foundation of their own. A church for Blacks across the northern line, a new home. The second poem I'd like to read is called Stanley. Bright sounds of saxophone and bass drifting through the basement to the main level of our Seattle house. I journey down the stairs that are cast in a glowing red light from the room at the back. Clouds of smoke billowing out. The smoke is fragrant and musky and different from my father's Camel non-filter cigarette. The smell is inviting me to enter the room. The curtain blows, flapping in the wind. Its red fabric, see-through, paints the room bright red. He is sitting on the couch smoking a cigar. He is my grandfather, Stanley. In one hand, he holds a shiny brass instrument, something that I've never seen before. Suddenly, the room is filled with the vibrant sounds of the trumpet, and I am transported. He is playing along to the music, to the jazz tunes on the radio. He sees me watching him. He laughs, a laugh larger than life. I want to play the trumpet too. He tells me stories of his glory days, playing music in Los Angeles with the musical great jazz legends. Stanley lifts a piece to his mouth, inflates his cheeks bright and big with air. As I listen with my young 4-year-old ears, I immediately fall in love with the richness of the tune, with the smell of the cigar, with the red light as it glows down upon my small brown body. When I hear jazz music, I close my eyes and I can feel these first moments. Love for music imprinted on my heart. And when I feel it, I am home. Thank you. And this is my last poem called Bell Bottom Blues. I was a young child, bell bottoms and braided hair, 2 braids and pigtails, wishing I could have cornrowed hair with the beads. I'd have purple and pink and white. My older cousin tried once to braid my mixed curly girl hair, mixed blood, native, black, long hair with frizz, not cool afro hair. Hours I sat waiting patiently for her to finish the braid, tinfoil gleaming, awaiting to top the beads. First braid, beads are strung carefully in pattern, and I wait in my seat. Last bead and foil to wrap the end. Before I can even see it, it all slips off. All the beads are all over the floor. Too mixed for beaded braids. Bell bottom, braided hair. Not Afro enough. Not native enough. How I long to be like everyone else.
Oh my goodness. Was that your last one, Autumn? I just
Yeah.
wanted to go on forever.
I mean, I do have my Juneteenth thing, but like that's like, roar! I'm gonna get you, man. Take you down, the white man. But I mean, if anybody wants to read that, I can totally send that out too. But.
that was just like incredible and beyond. And you know what's funny is like I feel like I've known you for a long time, Autumn, but probably not that long. But like, you know, when you just like, I think we met each other for the first time in person at, I want to say the fundraiser, like in December or November, one of like at Dickens. You remember that fundraiser?
I think so. Actually, it was Countdown Burlesque, October 2021, maybe 2020.
Okay.
And you were performing, and you were amazing, and it was like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. This is my memory now. It's clearly not great, but I was like, it was pretty recent. But I'm
well,
like,
and we're coming full circle with Countdown Burlesque this month anyway too. So.
Oh my gosh, and we are both. Thank you. We will be in that show. So hey, you're gonna miss out, folks, if you don't come to that show. It's live. A lot of Black girl magic happening in that show. Just wanna put that out there.
I'm under the handle Prairie Cherry. So.
Can you handle it? Thank you so much. That was just incredible. Thank you for taking up the challenge to like write something new. Like, oh my God. And the fact that you have 7 like human beings that you have gifted this earth blows my damn tree. So just want to like just express my gratitude in so many ways to you, Autumn. Her son actually was in my very first movie, and he made his cameo, and he was just so good. Like I had no idea what I was doing, and he went with it. And it was just like, Autumn just stepped in because I was like, oh crap, I need a kid for this film. And Kelly Ray got Autumn somehow, and she just like wasn't even phased. So it's just like, you know how you just like, you have these ways that you kind of like orbit around other people or other artists, and like finally the orbs have connected. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much, Autumn. Keep putting your love in the chat. We want to just express our gratitude for this wonderful work that we've been hearing. And I'm going to keep it rolling. Oh my God, I love you. Kiki Ayudo is our next performer. Kiki Ayudo is a young, multifaceted artist living in Calgary, Alberta. Her many creative outlets work to express the ins and outs of developing adolescent mind, as well as the social and economic struggles, triumphs, and overall experiences of people of color, women of color, and young people. She is self-taught in the realms of poetry, creative writing, visual artistry, and photography, and has honed her budding theatrical craft over a 3-year period in the Western Canada High School Drama Program, undergoing instruction in acting, musical theater, and directing under the care of Caitlin Gallichan-Lowe. Kiki believes all art is just a series of unfinished conversations or pieces that bring light to topics that simply don't get enough of it in the eyes of the artist. Art is foundational, in Kiki's own words. Art is necessary. Art gives a voice to the voiceless, and we need voices amplified now more than ever. So put your love in the chat and let's welcome Kiki. Kiki, take it away.
Hi guys, hopefully you can all hear me. I'm Kiki, I am 18. I've been writing for quite a while, since I could remember really, but I mostly wrote like creative stories and stuff when I was younger. And poetry was always on the back burner. I never really touched it. I didn't really get it. But I've been getting into it a lot in high school. I'm still very new to it, but you know, MelVee just brings the best out of me. So here we are. This first piece I wrote was for Black Kid Joy, which was the little mentorship group that I was in that MelVee helped put together. Was it 2020? Oh my God, 2021. Well, it was a whole thing. But yeah, I'm just really thankful to have been part of that experience. I found that, you know, I can draw a lot from being Black in terms of my art. It's a very good muse. And so this poem is called 2-Point Perspective. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's basically how you can go two ways with racism. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. It's so hard to explain. Anyway. I'm alone, we're alone, but we're never really alone. In this 5-story mansion called racism, this architectural masterpiece, this Revit dream, we are never, ever alone. Entering the first floor, we have curious stares that make us painfully aware of ourselves. Coughs, colonizers, comments, tongue twister names that are resented, shortened, dumbed down, money that tries so hard to find its way into our bank accounts, like a small fish trying to swim upstream against the current of currency that rushes so freely into our peers' pockets. Coming up on the second floor, we have monkey and watermelon paintings on the wall, plastered, stuck. No one really knowing how long they've been there, but not remembering a time without them. Forever a constant in a world of uncertainty, hanging over our heads for eternity. On the mantle is a Russian nesting doll of self-hate, inside of colorism, inside of racism, inside of everything else. Sitting pretty with its flamboyant colors and sturdy base, sure to be found somewhere in every Black home. Taking the stairs, we have the radically different hair on our heads, heads that are filled with pro basketball dreams we never actually dreamt for ourselves. Floor 4, we have skin-colored band-aids in the medicine cabinet, though we all know whose skin. Made for them when they weren't dragged, shredded, and brutalized, I think it's safe to say that they don't know true skin. And don't forget the playroom off to the right for the kids, fit with plenty white Barbies in the toy bin. Floor 5, a floor that's made me scared of heights, topped with its thick glass ceiling. We have the immeasurable, the unimaginable, the actual unspeakable that speaks for itself. The pure, sparkling blackness that penetrates all barriers, so bright that it scares most away. All in all, we have these structures, these institutes, these concepts that group us together like we were on a crowded boat across the Atlantic, but also pull us apart with ease like monkey bread. How convenient. I'm alone, we are alone, but we're never really alone. In this 5-story mansion called racism, this newly built condominium in Airdrie, this Calgary housing unit, this little house on the prairie. Though we may feel it, bear the blare of the megaphones that scream it, resist the urge to look at our dark skin and peel it. We are never, ever alone. In this 5-story mansion called racism, forever a constant in a world of uncertainty. And that's the first piece. Thank you so much. The second one I wrote recently. My inspiration for this is this year I've taken a gap year. I graduated recently. And so like 90% of my friends are all across the country studying, which is amazing. So happy for them. But I'm so lonely, it's insane. And I'm especially lonely in the sense that there are not too many Black people around me aside from my family. Like in the places I've worked, there just isn't a Black presence. And so I feel very lonely in that sense. And I am also moving away, just like MelVee. I will be in Toronto for university in September. And so I'm hoping I find more people that look like me up there. I've heard it's very diverse, so I'm super excited. And hopefully this poem won't be a reality when I'm up there. It has no name as of now. This poem has absolutely no name, but it's just how I'm feeling right now. So I'm just gonna get into it. Let me just grab a sip of water, hold on. Why do I feel tired after talking about the weather? Why is it that when I'm alone, I shut down altogether? I feel stretched, I feel expended, but my act's so very clever. My permanent smile splits my lips, but no Vaseline to mend them, no one to lend it. And I can't ask Maureen to move for me, oh no, she'd be offended. When I walk, it can't be sassy. I must not let my hair surpass me. No passion, no color, I feel sullen, it makes me want to scream, but that would upset Maureen. I wake and I'm asleep. I mix, I mingle, drive, work, eat, but in my heart, I'm stationary. There aren't that many places for me. Try and try as I must, but their faces don't remind me of me. I should be free in this country, yet I'm plagued by sayings like, oh, the black one, that's Kiki. It wasn't always this scary. I used to walk around with expired braids and I knew no one would judge me. Laugh so loud it touched the clouds and in seconds all would join me. But I'm not there anymore. No one cares anymore. Still, I carry the life I had with them close to my core. So vibrant and fun, they'd all describe me. Would you believe that I'm lonely? That I enter my house and I fall to my feet? That I've missed wash day for the 3rd week? That I sit on the floor to eat brownies and weep because there's never anyone to cry with me, and especially no one to hold me close and say, no, you don't look ashy. I miss existing unapologetically. I long for when my inner peace were the people around me. And I'm sick of lying. You know what? I don't like blue cheese, and certainly not the crackers they please. I've grown tired of not being me. I'm not a hateful person, really, but I don't feel alive anymore. I've been traveling so long, it's as though I'm an apple that's been cored. Someone please take me home. And not the studio apartment I pay way too much to live in, filled with plants and mismatched decor inspired by Pinterest. Take me home to my mother and her sisters, to the good food and the brown hues. Take me home to my blood and my history, to the foreign tongues that were never foreign to me, back to complex simplicity, where instead of playing victim, we can all just agree to disagree. I never felt tired there unless we were racing, and I never second-guessed myself. Love was the center of all things. It didn't matter where I was held closely. Didn't matter how I lived, I wasn't treated poorly. If I didn't eat, I was fed. When the sun fell, I was rushed to bed. And that's not to say that my friends now wouldn't do the same, but they wouldn't bother with putting a bonnet on my head. It's different standing cheek to cheek when the cheek looks like mine. It's as if we're one, but they never get my name confused with another. I haven't felt warm under my electric blanket in a long time. It's time I come home. Now, the structure of this poem may not be the most professional or neat, the rhyming scheme not A, B, A, B, but please bear with me. I'm not in my right mind, but I'm coming home soon. And that's the last poem I have for you today. Thank you so much.
So many Black girl feels, Kiki. You'll have to see my comments in the chat. Thank you so much. I remember when Kiki was in Black Kid Joy was in 2020. So the summer of the pandemic hit us, for the first time, and we got to run Black Kid Joy online. And we had so much, as facilitators, we had so much anxiety around it because we're like, are people going to show up? What's going to happen? And we had this crew of 7 young Black artists, and Kiki was one of those artists, and she blew us away, and she continues to blow us away. So thank you so much, Kiki. All right, I don't know for sure that there's a break. I'm just going to keep rolling until somebody tells me not to. Our next artist is KTheChosen. Born and raised in Zimbabwe and currently based in Calgary, KTheChosen creates music that is both enlightening and entertaining, can confirm. As a TEDx speaker, hip hop and spoken word artist, KTheChosen believes in the power of storytelling, and uses his voice to share the experiences of those around him. 2021 was a big year for KTheChosen, with a nomination for the Zim Achievers Canada Awards in the Young Achievers category in February, and the opportunity to perform and speak at a TEDx event in July. He was selected as the Immigrant Council for Arts Innovation Artist of the Month for October 2021. His new album, Advice, was released on October the 22nd and covers topics such as grief, feminism, and mental well-being. So get your comments in the chat, get your love ready for KTheChosen.
Thank you so much, MelVee. I am also in shock and in like happiness for you, but I'm like, no, you're leaving us. So it's an honor to kind of come full circle, as you mentioned, one of the first events that we got to participate as Black artists together was back in C-Space. And I think this, I want to say that's almost 4 years ago, maybe even 5. So just the way that time flies by. So many familiar faces in this chat. So just, I think even then, just like the concept of home and being in a new space and how, home can really be what you make it. Really kind of like shy to go next. I'm like, oh my God, there's been so many amazing performances. And I think so many beautiful discussions as well. So in the interest of time, I had 3 pieces, but I'm just going to do one. Just that those after me also get a chance to do their full pieces, as well as the fact that I think, honestly, this song, I think, encapsulates everything I'm feeling tonight. And I don't know, I generally don't dedicate performances to people, but I dedicate this one to you, MelVee. Just bring everybody here together. The song itself really is about moving from one place to another. So I think it suits kind of the occasion. I'm pretty sure many people are familiar with this because I perform this song almost all the time. It's a song called 263 to 403. I'm originally from Zimbabwe. 263 is the area code for the capital city, Harare. And 403 is obviously Calgary. So it's literally a song about moving from one place to another. And I think that kind of, encapsulates the homecoming and coming home. So without further ado, I'm just gonna give y'all 260 to 403. Let me know if you can't hear the sound. Like sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I do not trust technology. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, it should say sharing sound now. There we go.
But now his head is getting too big for his boots.
48 hours, $2,000, my dear, I fear the future ain't ours. Man of the hour, so clear, so near, but tastes so sour. More like bittersweet, my tongue sufficiently for testing how they speak, but they don't get me unless I add an inflection. Look into the mirror, don't recognize my reflection. I'm changing, but I swear it's for the better. Mine temperamental, less is Calgary weather. Mine blacking out, leather just cut off the zessa. That's life back home, but to you, that's whatever. You would never need to power up the generator. You don't have to queue for fuel, cause why a para? You don't wait for change, cause shikirawaneta. You ain't gotta wish that your country was better. Go figure, the one complaining on the other side of border. Wanna get his degree, now he's feeling much bolder. Only 1 degree, so he's feeling much colder. Burn that paper to keep my family warmer. The tale of nomad is quite sad. The boy now a man, raised a son like my dad. The doctor, a lawyer, the boy wanna rap? How you finna save him with a plan like that? What's crazy is the story is yours. A bunch of immigrants trying to make it abroad. If you made it this far, then applause is yours. It's a better look on the hook if you go off. Hey, hey, go off. Hey, hey, show off. If you made it this far, then applause is yours. It's a better look if you go off. Cross arms like the Nai in the land of Wakanda. Won't no more top, I came here to conquer. Dreads on my head so they think I'm a Rasta. Only dope I hit be the joints that I sponsor. This beat like Wyclef and Tyler. So I ask you, take me back to November. People in the streets, peaceful protesters. I'm in Canada, wish my family was safer. Then the blackout came. No internet, friends and relatives could not connect. to the world outside. I was stressing that people around me couldn't relate, but were empathetic. Then the same thing happened to Sudan. Realized Africa, we are one. One in corruption, one in assumptions, one in the prayers and the hopes of salvation, one in the shadow of needy attention, one with the power beyond comprehension. Those who export to first world nations, those would free us within enslaved them. Dilemma ain't you in these streets. How do we fix this so we all can eat? We can get better if the capable lead. Solution is us, but we're all overseas.
What's crazy is my story's yours.
A bunch of immigrants try to make it abroad. If you made it this far, then applause is yours. It's a better look on the hook if you go off. Hey, hey, go off. Hey, hey, show off. If you made it this far, then applause is yours. It's a better look if you go off. Hey, hey, go off. Hey, hey, show off. Hey, hey, go off. Hey, hey, show off. Thank you so much. You've been amazing.
Yes, I'm so here for this dance party and dedications and feeling home. Thank you so much, KTheChosen. I remember when I first saw you, I was like, oh my God, this guy is the Kendrick Lamar of Calgary. And I would like tell people, like, you have to see this man perform, because I have not yet in this city heard a rap artist or hip hop artist that just has it. So just so much love to you. Thank you so much. Keep putting your love in the chat, folks. So KTheChosen knows how, I mean, he knows how dope he is, but just, you know, a little more love in the chat. All right, folks. Oh my gosh. And we're actually running on pretty good time. I'm proud of us. So we've got 2 more artists, and then hopefully there's enough time that I'll get to share at least one piece. Our next artist and performer is Tola Dee. Tola is an aspiring Canadian filmmaker, poet, and founding member of Darkberry Creative, a group of Black women who are artists based in Calgary, Alberta. As the Assistant Artistic Director of Africa Day Arts and Culture Society, which showcases African art as is a central part of what she does. Whether it is through dance, music, spoken word, visual art, and theatrical readings, her purpose is to display the positive aspects of African people and people from the diaspora and their contributions to the world. In 2017, she organized a successful African Film Festival in partnership with the Calgary International Film Festival. Her passion for community has led her to help and partner with several organizations for events and panel discussions. As a filmmaker and poet, she continues to perform her inspirational poetry at events and festivals, most recently at We Gon' Be Alright, Arts Commons in Calgary. Tola is currently developing and producing 2 docuseries that will highlight the importance of African history and Black and Indigenous relations, with production in USA, Canada, and of course, Africa. Put your love in the chat, friends, for Tola, aka Tola Dee.
Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry about my dog howling. He's upset because I've had to lock him away. So thank you, Melanie. And listen, MelVee, I'm very, we had this conversation the other day, and so I'm very sad that you're leaving, but I'm also sad that you're still staying with us and we'll be hearing from you. So you're on to new ventures and continuing to do what you do. And I also want to let everybody know that I've developed a residency program. You may have seen that MelVee has posted it, and it's a residency program with a world-renowned artist, Nigerian artist who's very well known, and the residency is for African and Indigenous people and Afro-Indigenous. So anyone can apply, but that is our focus. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And Sue-Shane, we have to finish our conversation. We had a really good video chat and I was doing many things and I got cut off, but we have to finish our conversations. So, and there's so many things to what I do and what I'm trying to dispel about women, Black women, the people from the diaspora, and of course our great continent. So I'm working on an anthology right now, and this is just some excerpts from the anthology that I'm writing. There's so many things that I want to say, but we do not have the time. So I am just going to say a few things, and I hope that you have some understanding of what I am trying to relay. I often think of what it means to be me. What does it mean for me to occupy this space as an individual, as a presence on this earth, in this community, but mostly as a melanated woman? There are responsibilities as a Black woman, but let's first talk about the condition of Black women. We always have the angry Black woman title. Let's ask some questions about what makes us angry or seem angry. As a small girl, I lived in an all-white neighborhood and attended an all-white Catholic school, not because we were Catholic, but because it was across the street. And my mom had too many kids to be bussing. This situation helped shape who I became. On my block, there was a man ironically named Mr. White. Imagine 3 nappy-headed brown girls riding their bikes through the neighborhood and past his house, only to be yelled at or even chased with a broom. Even though we were riding with other white kids, we were seen as the threat. At school, there was a plethora of names for us: darky, burnt toast, burnt matches, packy, chocolate bar, and of course, nigger. And as a child in school, you were taught that teachers or anyone in authority at school are there to help you, but instead we were told to ignore it. My mother often told us about our beauty. My father said people fear us because we are chosen. However, my mother also told us that since she can't be at the school to protect us and the school board refused to do anything about the abuse that we were facing day in and day out, it was time that these little white kids learned the consequences of their actions. So not only did I go to school with my head held high, I slapped the mess out of any fool that decided they needed to test me. On approval from my mother, of course. It was then that I learned white fragility. As it turns out, they could call us nigger all day. Them, their parents, they could spit on us and whatever else they felt they needed to do. But when they caught this whooping, the teachers, their parents, and the school board was all on their side. As for us little Black girls, there was no shortage of threats, of suspension, or even being expelled. To which my mother dealt with that swiftly and let them know not to F with her children. Our lives were not as important as Mary, Timothy, or Debbie's. And as a young Black girl, I understood very clearly that my skin was a blessing and a curse. When you have parents that are essentially Black Panthers, in every sense of the word, my father is a very strong Nigerian man who is not only highly intelligent, but is the most thought-provoking man and individual I have ever met. And at a young age, I was intrigued by his sense of reality and knowledge. My mother's family were some of the first Black settlers in Alberta, namely Amber Valley, and in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. My aunt was the first Black nurse in Alberta. I come from richness. I come from struggle. I come from slavery. I come from royalty. These things run through my blood. Does that make me angry? In school, I schooled the kids on their colonialistic past and how they continue to benefit. I schooled my teachers on teaching falsehood and nonsense on what they call Thanksgiving. More like, thanks for allowing us to take. Does this make me angry? In junior high, when all the kids were reading and presenting their book reports on Sweet Valley High or Nancy Drew, I was presenting books like Black Like Me, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, James Baldwin, Kwame Ture, H. Rap Brown, and more. When presenting, the kids were always baffled and had no idea what I was talking about. The teachers were always sitting there with their mouth open and usually asked the question of, did you read that? And do you read anything else? And the answer was always no. Enter womanhood. And the bricks of my history are becoming heavier on my back, but not enough where I can't stand. Then there was the realization that I'm not just fighting white people, and I'm not fighting everyone else who doesn't have respect for us. I'm fighting my own people. realizing that my own Black brother doesn't find Black women attractive, putting white women on a pedestal, making them think that they are better than me, and having to educate them on the condition he has been so privy to that has instilled such fuckery in their minds. Does that make me angry? Confronting my brothers and sisters on the colonial mentality they have unknowingly embraced. Who taught you to hate your melanated skin? The same people that tan themselves to death. Who taught you that Black women are so undesirable? The same women who do anything to look like us. Who taught you that our history is only about slavery? The same people whose ancestors learned medicine from us, bathing their skin from us, whose ancestors learned math and astronomy from us. The same people that had you in slavery in the name of their God, who you now serve so proudly. Does me enlightening you on all of these things make me angry? Black womanhood in the workforce. I don't want to mix and mingle with you and listen to your white people problems about what house to buy, or your child didn't make the team, or your husband forgot to do something and didn't buy the car that you wanted. I don't care. My child was called nigger today. He made the team because they need a Black boy. He's strapping. My husband, what husband? Now, I'm not saying all of us are single parents, but the reality is we come from broken homes because of our condition and the system that keeps the nucleus Black family apart or non-existent. Your problems don't matter to me. My problems are deeper. My thoughts are deeper. My whole existence is deeper. The world wants to annihilate us. They kill our leaders, our real leaders. Why? Fear. Ask yourself, how many African leaders were assassinated in 2021 alone, including the Haitian president? They want what we have, but they don't want us. Compliance is what they want from the Black man and woman. Compliance is what our brothers have been indoctrinated to believe they have to have from us. I'm raising children, I'm educating, I'm nurturing, I'm working, I'm fighting for respect, and I'm breaking down what we have been told. Will you still call me angry? Do you see the bricks piling up? I don't have a slave name. I have an African name, Tola Dee. That's me. That represents the continent in the meaning of every sense of the word, wealth. Africa is the richest continent in the world. Africa doesn't need saving. Africa is saving the world. What does it mean for me to be a Black woman? It means a lot. We are women with bricks upon our backs, and yet still we hold our heads high because we know who we are. We are chosen. The ancient Greeks loved us and were in awe of our beauty. We are the most disrespected women on earth. When we step out, we are not seen as just another human. We are Black, then we are Black women. And if you can see the humanity in me before you call me an angry Black woman, then maybe, just maybe, there's some overstanding.
Thank you so much, Tola Dee. That was just like so many heart feels, and your timing is excellent. You caught it just before the the alarm went off. So that's the filmmaker, because filmmakers know down to the split second. Thank you so much, Tola Dee. And I'm gonna see all y'all before I leave this place, because I've decided to not leave my hometown in a spirit of bitterness, and I want to leave with love to really honor the love and nurturance I've received over the years. So keep on putting your love in the chat for Miss Tola Dee, everyone. So I can't believe it. We are on to our last poet of the evening, as the saying goes, last but certainly not least. Samari. Samari is a poet whose writing explores feelings, thoughts, and social commentaries as they relate to occupying space as a Black Muslim woman. She has published 2 books of poems and reflections, the latest which is titled Black, absolutely buy that, I have it on my shelves, and speaks mainly of Blackness, mental health, family, and the impact that colonization has had on her communities. By day, Samari is a kindergarten teacher. Please, y'all, put your love in the chat, and take it away.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I am so excited to be here. MelVee, you're leaving me. It's okay, I know it's not about me, but it still hurts. I wish you the very best with everything, always, always. Okay, well, today, I have two poems for you, one of which talks about home as I know it to be in a very literal sense. And I feel like it's something that we can all relate to because home is where we live and breathe and work. So chores, right? And the second poem is the longer poem where I talk about the journey to home being Ghana in this context, because my father, may his soul rest in peace, was from Ghana. And making my way to Ghana was a very, very arduous experience every single time because we had to stop in Europe. And because once I landed in Ghana, I was too white for Ghana, but I looked like everybody. So that was very confusing to me. And I addressed that. Okay, let's start with the first one called Pointed Toes and Household Chores. It's short. This rain, drumming on my rooftops, gets my blood ready to dance. This wind, fluting through my vents, carries my harmony as it sings with me. This sun shooting at my living room floor is my spotlight, and yes, I am ready for the show. That's all. Now the second poem. The cobblestone streets in the damp after rain of July amplify every heel click of my sandal wedges as I task my soul with making its way to you. The street vendors look at me concerned and bewildered because I do not belong to the landscape of rust-peaked rooftops and prolapsed shingles, but they do not stare for too long, partly in fear of coming across rude, partly as a result of vicarious embarrassment. Every vowel from the word hello gets caught in my esophagus as I try to introduce myself as formally as I know how on a Tuesday night in a foreign tongue. I am not even sure if there is place for my letters to go when I bite my tongue and eat my words, but here I am choking. I can't Heimlich my way out of this. I can't die in heels either. I cough up all the hell I have left, and oh, does it hurt? This layover is not where I'm supposed to be. I am here, but I'm not. I am home, but I'm not. There's a street where I'm from, where all the girls have my last name and the lips that make me look particular. When I go, stranger in my own home, I can see that I belong. But as soon as my lips part and my voice starts to relieve what's on my tongue, even my mother looks at me and says, I do not share her land like her other children do. And I clasp my mouth, praying that my next breath smells less like the Atlantic seawater I had to swallow to get here, there, where I would be from if I wasn't from the place where I spread my accent thin and wide enough to cover up my skin. Sometimes I want to quake the earth. I want to shake the planet until everyone falls off and is sprung into the universe and lands on Saturn's rings or something, so that I may be of this earth, so that I may make of this earth a home. I'd give it all up. And for a moment, let it just be me, the clouds and the breeze. I wear an asterisk at the end of my name, you know, because I am who I am, what I am, where I am. But conditions may apply. My skin carries my bones, my thoughts, myself. How strong must I be to have all that inside me and home still be a place I still can't quite be? And that is all from me. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, you have me in all my heart feels. So I met, okay, so when I first met you, Uma, in person, it was probably at We Gon' Be All Right, but I had seen you, I think a couple years before that, and I think you read a piece from Black, and I was like, who is this person? I need to know them right now. And I have not stopped loving Uma since then, and you will see me before I go. Thank you for sharing your brilliance. What's that, darling?
I said I need you to stay, but I understand you have to go.
I'm so embarrassed now, like, damn it. Look at you, Calgary, for breaking my heart, but I don't want to diminish everybody's light from the evening. I just, my heart is so happy, and I feel like for coming home or homecoming, this is exactly it, is getting to share, you know, your work and your energy and your vibes with folks who love you and care about you. And to me, I make home where I go, because I feel that's all we really can do. We're, you know, temporary messengers on this you know, planetary realm. And so I think home is, I do believe that home is a feeling. And I know unfortunately a lot of poetry has some life business to take care of, and we have gone a little bit over our event note time, but not the time on Facebook, though. I just want to put that out there. So thank you again so much, Uma, and keep putting your love in the chat. I will check in with David and see if there is enough time for me to read a piece, and it's totally okay if not, but I want to check in first.
That'd be great if you could do a piece to kind of wrap things up for us.
Okay. So this one is called Mother's Tongue. Saltfish, dumplings, ground provisions, dasheen, green banana, plantain, yam, tamarind, malt, oxtail, cocoa tea, sea wet jam, coconut drops, fresh mango, rum cake. This was our food on special occasions from home. Every Good Friday, every Easter Sunday, Thanksgiving, Christmas. There was always some ground provisions and salt fish alongside turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, and gravy. But at school, we ate like Canadians: mayonnaise and white Wonder Bread, bologna sandwiches, Lunchables, mustard. No one ever knew. My mother always told me, don't trust these white people. They think they're better than you. She spoke in patois to my aunts, but we only understood our names. Not going to teach you patois, she says. Our language is hard to write. Besides, you're going to speak the King's English like a Canadian. You are a Canadian. Don't let them tell you any different. My mom would always say, me, this will never be my home. Back home is home. This is your home, not mine. Bay rum, soft candle, nutmeg, limogette, ginger tea, strong right from the root. Whatever ails you, mom always had a remedy from back home. Rub this here, put this on your head, gargle with salt water, drink some ginger tea. You had some chicken soup yet? Reggae, ska, soca, dancehall, country. I don't care where you come from. As long as you're a Black man, you're an African. Don't mind your nationality. You have got the identity of an African. No mind your complexion. There is no rejection. You're an African. She'd always sing this part the loudest, much to my 14-year-old chagrin. No woman, no cry. Brother Bob always knew how to get the mood just right. I'm a stepping razor, don't watch my size, I'm dangerous. Peter Tosh was too Black, too beautiful, too brilliant, and too radical for this world. For the sin of being a Black man of self-possession, he was gunned down outside his studio in Kingston, gone too soon. Black, brown, honey, high yellow, caramel, red bone, blue black. Hail Selassie, Brother Bob, Peter Tosh, Dr. King, Malcolm, Sister Rita. These are our heroes, she taught me. She didn't even have to utter the words. She showed us through her actions, her love, her determination that we would never be ashamed of who we are. Black power, Black people, Black love. Black is beautiful. Black pride, Black heritage, Black culture. We are not ashamed. And by the way, I no longer bring the mayonnaise. I want to say deep and sincere thank you to everybody for being here tonight. For lovely David, he's been making sure the tech doesn't go awry. June from Shelf Life Books has been holding it down for us and recording. Of course, Kirk Miles, who asked me to curate the show this evening. To all of our artists who have shared their work and their hearts. You all have a special place in my heart, and I love you all so much. And of course, to everybody for being here this evening. I've got a whole shebang and bang for where you can find the artists. I've been, if you see me looking down, that's what I've been doing. Okay, I haven't been texting. Okay, I've been doing serious business. So I'm gonna drop that in the chat where you can find all of these brilliant artists, and also the coming home, homecoming guiding questions for you to carry in your hearts and to reflect on. Again, thank you so much for having us this evening. And I can't say thank you enough. So I'm gonna drop that in the chat, and I will put a link as well that, so in case you missed it in the chat, you have that information, because I think amazing people should know each other. And so shabam, there we go. So that's all the info I just dropped in the chat as well. And let's do a final, just a this or whatever for everybody, because my
Thank you for
heart is
having me.
full.
Thank you for putting it on. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. My love to everybody, truly.